Hey guys, it's Caden. Welcome to another episode of Get Prepped Podcast, where we talk with voice actors, nonprofit leaders, and business owners about a going to be a new game, Get Prepped. Today we have another amazing voice actress who's been with us since the beginning. You might know her as Whitney Houston and Naomi Campbell from Celebrity Deathmatch, or as I think it's Winx Club. I don't know the name of the character, but she was in that. She is Soroya Butler. Thanks for coming on, Soraya.
Hi, hello. And it's Soraya, like the ray of the sun. Soroya Butler.
All right, now remember that. My first question for you is, how did you get into voice acting?
Well, voice acting, when I live in New York City, and so voice acting was always a part of being an actor in New York. So, you had to do all the things. You had to be on camera, you had to do voiceover, because the name of the game in New York is get a job. Because it's so expensive to live. So I was very fortunate to have an agent who had an on-camera commercial department as well as a voiceover department. And so I was able to do radio commercials and like television commercials. And actually, as an on-camera actor, that's really all I knew about of voice acting, like the animated things, as you mentioned, the commercials for radio and television. I did a few industrial films, narration, but that's it. So when the pandemic happened and there was no acting going on-camera acting, voiceover was the only game in town. And my agent said, he's like, Soraya, I cannot send you any voiceover auditions until you build an at-home studio. And New York was an in-person kind of town before the pandemic, right? We just bopped around to all the casting offices and they knew who I was. So I did not have an at-home studio. I was one of those actors who was used to going into the studio. So I just had like a microphone in a box, because around 2017, 2018, you did have to send some MP3s into your agent's office, but I didn't have a real studio and all the casting people knew me. So I was very embarrassed by the setup I had. It was not at all professional, but since they knew me and knew that I was a good actor, they were like, oh yeah, book Soraya, she's great. And so I would go in and do the jobs. So when the pandemic happened, I did not have an at-home studio. And I knew that people had been working only from home for years and years and years. And so I had to build a studio ASAP with my husband's help. And it was not this professional studio that you see now. It was literally moving blankets, covering a room divider screen. It was about this big. And I got a professional microphone and a dedicated computer, and I hit the ground running. And in the very beginning of the pandemic, audio engineers were very forgiving, right? Like they understood that we were working from home. Actors were working from home with not the most professional setup. But I was lucky and I worked. And then, I got different iterations until now I'm in a real ISO booth with, padded walls and a better microphone. So here we are.
Here we are indeed. That's definitely a great way to get into voiceover. A lot of things happened during the pandemic that were positive. Musicians had to work from home. Actors had to work from home. So I'm definitely glad you used that to your advantage, which leads me to my next question. What was your favorite role to take on over the course of your voice acting career?
Favorite? Oh, there are just so many. Like the most fun are of course the projects I did for kids and Wix. So, I got to play like the fairy's mother, queen, whoever she was, the queen mother of one of the little fairies on Wix, and also the celebrity death matches, because they were just hilarious and over the top and like really exaggerated characters that I could really sink my teeth into. But now, I'm one of the voices for McDonald's radio. So I have a lot of campaigns right now that we're running over the summer. So that has been fun to have such a wonderful client who keeps coming back to me. So that's a lot of fun. And of course, video games are fun because you're just, takes you out of your real everyday regular life. I get to play bad, like villains, and like usually I play like the mom, as I said, the queen mother, or I play like the nice teacher moms. But in video game land, I get to be villains and just do exciting things. So I'm really excited about Get Prepped. I haven't started yet, but my characters, they seem like they're going to be really, really fun, and I can't wait to see how they integrate and play with the rest of the characters in the cast.
I'm excited to see it too, and I didn't know McDonald's had a radio station. I'll have to.
No, not a radio station, but lots of ads in a campaign that play predominantly on the radio as opposed to television. So that's what I've been doing.
Oh, that makes much more sense.
Yeah.
You said McDonald's radio.
Oh, did I? Oh, I meant McDonald's for the radio. To differentiate from.
That makes sense. My next question for his what's a funny or challenging in the booth or on-set moment that you'd like to share with us?
Oh, I do a lot of medical narration. And sometimes, you're going over the script and the words, but, and then you get in the session and then you stumble on not even the hard word. You stumble on an easy word and you're just like, oh, this is so embarrassing. But you take a breath and you do it again. They know we're humans and we make mistakes. So that's like, I don't like to do that, but sometimes it happens and you have to roll with it. On the set, yes, I did a long time ago. I did a commercial for Lowe's, and I just improvised. Like it was a reveal of my new bathroom. Like I was like a single woman. I have been renovating rooms in my home that I had, and the last room to check off the list was the bathroom. And as the character, I was supposed to be super overwhelmed, and I went to Lowe's and I had help and made everything easy. And so when it's the reveal of my bathroom, they were just like, oh, just do something fun. And I was like, oh, okay. So I opened the door of my bathroom and I was like, ah, and I did a spin and a giggle, and they loved it. They were like, oh my God, that's amazing. And so they kept it in the commercial. So I just improvising, being open, taking chances. I love doing all of that. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but that one worked.
I love improv myself. My next question for you is, for those that may not know you, what's a hobby you like to enjoy beyond voiceover?
I love just taking hikes, walking in nature. My husband's from Vermont, so we often go to Vermont to visit his family, and we go hiking. And I love to cook. And I love to cook with my husband. We're very good cooks. And so somebody takes, like the protein, and then the other person will do the sides. And then, we bring it together for a good meal. So yeah, I love to cook. I love
hiking as well. There's a bunch of great trails here in Ohio where I'm based and that I've gone to. My next question for you is, what's something you've learned over the course of your acting career that you wish you knew when you first started?
Acting is a long game. You can get lucky and get like a great role and, you have a job, but you're constantly looking for the next job. And I wish I knew that starting out and treated it more as me being an entrepreneur and a business person from day one, instead of, being an actor with an agent waiting for the phone to ring. Like you constantly have to network, you constantly have to meet with people and be on the lookout for your next job while you're in your thing that you're in. I mean, and that goes for while you're in a play, you either, you're meeting casting directors and reaching out and doing what you can for the next play or the next connection. So you always have to network and treat it as a business, so that and to know that I am in control of my business. Like my agent works for me. Like I don't work for my agent, or your management team works for you. You don't work for them. And you seek opportunities everywhere.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Exactly. Not just with entertainment, but with anything really.
Anything
about
really.
Networking. That's
Yes, and you can do it in a way, because I also, when I was much younger, I don't know, networking gets such a bad rap. Like I felt like very like, oh, it's so schmoozy and oh, I can't do that. And what like I just felt like it was like inauthentic, right? Like it was like something that was apart from me and I couldn't do it. But there's a way to network to all you're doing is sharing your genuine self, right? You're just making friends.
Exactly.
Trying to be of service, right? See how you can help them out. And now that I've realized that about the networking, like I have a lot to bring to the table. I am very talented. I have skills that, when we collaborate and work together, we can do a great project. And now that I see networking as that, you're just making friends. I love to make friends. I love to talk. So now that I am, just more confident in myself and in my talent, I have a much more grounded and realistic attitude towards the networking, and it has served me better. It's actually resulting in connections, which is what we want.
Exactly. A lot of my best opportunities have come from me just casting a net out, shooting an email, networking, and seeing what comes to me. Which leads to my last question for you. If you could take on any voice role, past or present, who would it be and why?
Oh, any? I mean, Storm comes to mind. I love that character, always have. So in an animated version or live action version, I would love to play Storm. Love, love, love.
I love the Marvel Universe too, and they're producing a bunch of new games, so maybe there's a Storm role for you.
Maybe.
Anyways, that's going to do it for some of you guys. Thank you so much to Soraya for coming on and sharing her story. If you guys want to see more amazing interviews with those involved in Get Prepped, please search, like, comment, and subscribe to the Get Prepped channel. And to learn more about the game, scan the QR code here. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.